Okay, I get it. I'll listen to Burning Vow next. Good lord. All right, so like 33 people liked the comment that Devil Hunter threw on the last video saying I should listen to this one. And I guess it makes sense after loading up the video because it has the same character on it. So I'm like, okay, that totally tracks. But so many people were like, you need to listen to Burning Vow next. Please do that. All right, I guess without further ado, I'll just get right into it. Let's go. Also, CN spoilers, I guess, so. That's a lot of breathing.
By stepping in the sand river, time after time, going backwards, I floated in the flow.
I can't remember the last time I saw like full videos with a PGR song. Usually it's just stills like this. Ooh. So I really like the singer's vibrato. It's pretty unique. Just caught my ear. Very powerful vibe going on here. I'm just kind of taking it all in. Usually I talk more than this, but I think I'm just weirdly invested. Really good. Just the hold on that was beautiful. I'm also really loving that the drum set is placed on the top in the mix there. Like you can hear that before most other things, which is not the most common choice. Obviously, this beautiful little solo section is kind of taking up the front right now. Loving the harmonies on the vocals too. I mean, even visuals aside, this song is very emotional. Man, God, okay, I see why people wanted me to listen to it. I was absolutely entranced that whole time. I usually blab more than that Man, that had me hooked. All right, so I think I know why that made me feel the way it did and why I was so hooked on it. It reminded me a lot of Moon Halo from Honkai Impact 3. That song, and especially the Hersher of the Void animation and everything that goes with the story there, they're pretty similar in tone. The lyrics kind of hit a similar thing. At one point, the lyrics in here even mentioned flames, so I'm like, you know, like there's just, it's a lot. It's coming back, all the memories. That's what was hitting me, was remembering a very similar experience I've had with that. Even some of the visuals on here were very reminiscent of that as well. So like there's just that part where I'm remembering my own experience with an emotional story and following it along and being able to experience that. And while it might not be the same game, it might not be the same characters and the same storyline, it just shows enough of that parallel where I'm like, ooh, okay, I get it. The music on this, of course, gorgeous. Her voice is fantastic. I love her vibrato, like I said. She's got a really nice tone to her voice. There are little things about her singing style that kind of wake me up a bit, especially how she, like, when she goes up to certain notes, she flips into her head voice very smoothly. She doesn't belt them like a lot of singers will, and that's kind of nice. Like hearing this soft flip into something, it makes the whole song feel a little bit more saddened and worn rather than angry and like aggressive in that way, where like belting is supposed to be more powerful and show that. Flipping into your head voice is a lot more subtle and a little bit more of like a solemn energy that follows, and that's a really nice choice here. But then also the harmonies, like I said, there's a few spots in here where I actually couldn't tell if she split the harmonies. Like at one point it sounded like the harmony was becoming the melody and the melody was becoming the harmony, like they traded places halfway through and the one went down when normally the harmony was going up. And like I was like, whoa, where is that going? You know, like there were so many little things in there that the vocalist was doing that I was really into. And I think the vocalist did a phenomenal job as a result. There's just so many little things about her voice and her qualities in her voice that make me want to listen and really pulled my attention. And no matter what was happening on screen, I always found myself kind of drawn back to the music, which is weird for me because I'm usually distracted by the visuals and like watching the animation stuff, but I was more glued to the lyrics and just listening. And I almost feel like as an animator, I'm like cheating on my favorite medium as a result. How dare I? This is truly one of those songs that I have experienced a few times before where the song itself, even if you're not listening to the lyrics, even if you're not watching the visuals on screen, you can just tell that it's a very emotional piece, and whatever's happening in that moment is a very like turbulent moment in the character's head. Like there is a point of aggression in here, like some of that belting I had mentioned that wasn't happening all the time, that was there, but it was usually down in the lower register too, so that has this support underneath that feels a lot more angry in those moments. But then when they go up higher, it's more of a contemplative thought, and it's just, you can tell that the character is going through a bunch of emotional highs and lows. That's what that sort of relationship tells me, and I think that that's a beautiful way to tell a story in a song. And of course, like I said, you don't even need the lyrics for that. You could just take out the voice entirely, and the emotions in the music itself, just the instruments, kind of makes that obvious. You hear these ups and downs floating through. It's like a constant sine wave of just ups and downs all the way. The beautiful sound of that clean guitar with just a bit of reverb on it, and there's a little bit of an echo on there, and then the drums being kind of on top of everything else, kind of supporting but also being in the very forefront, where usually drums are kind of in the back because they're drums, they're meant for support, but in this it felt like a driving force pulling you through the song, and everything else around it was just kind of floating around the drum kit. Even the vocals were kind of playing up at the front with the drums, which is really interesting for a mix. I don't hear that too often. It's just when they know they want to make that impact and have that driving sound in the mix, that's when they have the drums a little bit further forward. And I think it works so well for such an emotional track like this, but usually you get other instruments up front, like the piano is usually much more prominent, or the guitars are usually pretty up there, but not this one as much. They were still there. You could still hear them, obviously, but I like that they did that because it had a little bit more emotional punch, in my opinion, because the kit was so far forward and you get a lot of that attack on the drum kit. It just does its job and it keeps you paying attention. I did not find myself getting lost at all during this, and like I said before, that's really really rare for me. PGR is one of those series I really don't know much about the characters in them. I just see the music and I listen to that, and that's about the extent of my knowledge. I don't really have any backbones to any of the stories on these. I don't get as many like lore dump comments on these videos as I usually would for other series, so I don't know as much just by pure proxy. So like, I didn't even know that there was animations like this, or that they had like full motion cutscenes or anything. I was really not aware of that, and if I was at one point, it's been long enough since I've seen it that I totally forgot they existed. So like, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think that that was going to be a case. I thought it was going to be a still picture like always, and seeing all of that on screen helped share all that information, and I was able to put myself into the context a little bit better, and it helped me get my thoughts together, because honestly, without that, I probably would have been thinking something completely different. But seeing the characters on screen, what they're fighting for, who they're fighting against, I was able to piece together a lot more context off those visuals, so that helped out a lot. But yeah, beautiful song. I don't really have much else to yap about on this one. I have been yapping plenty. I've gone in a few circles now. I'm not sure how much of my ranting I'm gonna have to cut to make this video make sense in length, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you have any other songs from PGR you want me to get to, by all means drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best as always, especially if you have as many likes on the one like you did this time around. That was so many. I can't ignore that. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video and you want to follow me and support me for more in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!